Hello, you beautiful legends, and welcome to Blunt Force Healing Podcast. This is episode number 775. And because of the reflection on the window, I actually align with today's theme of the day. We all know it's 31st of October, it's Halloween. So I decided to record it on the day. It's pretty much end of the day, and I don't expect anything else to happen. So I might as well record the update for that particular day and upload it and publish it tomorrow. So yeah, I look weird because of how the water is flowing from the windscreen and the light is reflecting on me. I'll try to not get distracted and provide you with an update fairly quickly, because there's a bit to update you on. I titled it Hello Win. Of course, it's like a dad joke or a pun on Halloween itself, but I don't want to dive into Halloween part because I think I already wrote at least 2 blog posts in the previous years, because this project exists already for over 2 years, and it started in September 19, 2022. So yes, there were 2 Halloweens so far, and this is the 3rd one. So I'm sure I expressed my view on the whole thing already, so you can search for it if you want in the blog, and you will find out. But let me just rewind to the very morning and tell you what actually happened on the day, which is Thursday. Yeah. So Thursday started pretty, I would say, blunt, because not only it's one of those weeks, well, not many, but the midterm breaks where Julian is off school, so we don't need to wake up very early and drive to school for 9 o'clock, and then our routine is kind of destroyed, especially that we were yesterday in Dublin, so the whole day was driving and was exhausting as hell. So I recorded that update already, and so I also stayed a bit too long during the night. I went to sleep probably closer to 3:30 or 4 a.m. So pretty much in the morning of today. So I didn't have much sleep, but I feel okay. And I woke up probably closer to 9:30 a.m. so not that bad. I had probably 4.5 to 5 hours of sleep. Of course, it's not enough to be healthy, but 4.5 hours is roughly 3 cycles, and I woke up without being, groggy or anything like that. So it seems like my body still knows well how to wake up properly without those weird hangovers. So I woke up in the morning. Julian was already up and was testing a couple of things that he ordered from Temu. Some people say Temu. I checked that for fact, and it should be called Temu. And that comes from the actual representative of the company in China. Their name is Temu, not Temu, even though most of the world keeps saying Temu. So yeah, so I had to stop for a moment. So yeah, the morning was pretty bland. Not much happened. Julian was unpacking those things from Temu. I don't really like ordering from a giant corporations like Temu, because of the sheer ethical aspects of it. Of course, we can't avoid buying products sometimes from sources that we might not support. We can boycott certain companies and corporations. So obviously I'm not a big activist to do that, but if I don't feel right about certain company and products, I don't buy from them, or buy very rarely. And I don't remember much that we would order from Temu. I think Julian was pushing me a couple of times because they have such an amazing assortment of things and range of things, and some of them are very cheap and poor quality, some of them are better, but the sheer amount of options and the market that they have is beyond what Amazon will ever be. And we in Western world, we always think Amazon as the biggest shop, but Amazon is nowhere near what Temu and likes of AliExpress and Alibaba are providing. So the China market not only is China itself has huge population, and Asia is their market, which is very populated, but on top of that they still operate the Western markets. And as we know, Amazon is mostly focused on Western and kind of European markets, maybe a bit of Australia, but the rest of it is a very small fraction of what Amazon does. I think I read some statistics that shown that the Amazon special days or Prime days in comparison to equivalent of Temu are just a fraction of a huge revenue that is built. And Chinese companies have a very specific approach to marketing. They have huge investors and funds that are pumping money into kind of flooding the advert space and win the market this way. So while doing a lot of losses in terms of marketing and spending on marketing, they generate their position that later on gives them huge advantage and pretty much kills a lot of competitors. But it's not that what I was talking about. So yeah, Julian ordered one of those dinosaur costumes that you are kind of inflated and you walk in them. We tested that today. It's just ridiculous. It's fun to see. I might put some short video, but I only have vertical videos, so I might put some video later on, or maybe tomorrow. But yeah, it was fun to see. I ordered some cheap lights to sauna to test them out and see if they even work, because I didn't want to spend too much money on special lights for the sauna, because most of them are not even tested against saunas. They are just sold as special lights, but they are nowhere near the humidity testing levels or temperature testing levels that should be done for the sauna. So I want to see if those cheap lights can match the performance, or just operational practicality of what we do. So yeah, we ordered a couple of things, mostly very practical things, like those lights, some screen covers or screen protectors for the phone and the watch, and also some kind of like balls for washing, especially for downwash, the coats that are kind of puffy. But Julian ordered obviously a lot of excuse me language, a lot of crap, like some plastic gun that expels shells while having small bullets, plastic bullets. And also one thing that he actually ordered that I like is that it's like some sort of whistle, Aztec whistle or whatever. It provides the very loud scream, terrible and terrifying scream. So I guess it came out from that culture. I'm not sure if it's real or somebody made it up, but it's very fun and fairly solid thing that I like from what he bought. And also that costume is not bad for the price we paid. And yeah, I would say overall performance of it is great. So he did a couple of things in the morning. We did like a lot of stuff that we planned for. I prepped the sauna, I preheated it, cleaned up a little bit in the trunk, so did a lot of reorganizing. And we were meant to deploy the sauna today around noon, but we decided to shift it a little and deploy it closer to 2 p.m. And in between 12 and 2 p.m. I went with Elizabeth to return some packages in the post office, as well as to refuel the car, because I didn't want to go to gas station with the sauna that has already fire going. So yeah, we did that, and then Elizabeth stayed at home while and Julian also stayed at home while I went with the sauna, because we already had pre-booked clients. And it was a lovely evening. It was dry, warm and nice. So the clients enjoyed it. It was a full hour of them going in and out of the ocean. The tide was high, so it was coming close to the ramp. I stayed at the ramp to make sure that it's safe to operate. They enjoyed it. Then a couple of other people came in, and pretty much straight after they went off, I had to wrap up and drive back home, because Julian wanted to go for trick-or-treating, probably one of the last years that he'll do that. But yeah, he wanted to show off with his costume. And to be honest, I said this is the end of the day, but it's at the moment 7:45, so 7:45 p.m. and Julian is still walking around and trick-or-treating with his friend. So I just stay here and make sure that whenever he wants to go, he can go. I do my stuff on the laptop and on the phone. I'm recording it now, so kind of leveraging that time. But let's get to the last bit and the most important bit. My win today is not a big win, but I think I wanted to celebrate it to some extent, at least by mentioning it. I completed the full open category training for A1 and A3 license for unmanned aircraft operations. And this is a fairly important step, or fairly important milestone, because now I will have to, I already have the saved registration. I didn't submit it yet, but I will be registering as a formal drone pilot within IAA records. The IAA is basically Irish Aviation Authority, and they regulate the airspace in Ireland. And once I register there, I am going to order the next drone that will be over 250 grams, which means it requires certain open category that I just completed the training of. So I'm seriously proceeding with the drone operations, and I want to make sure that we have those drones before we fly on to Tenerife. I also checked the legislation in general and local EASA, which is a body like the Irish Aviation Authority. It's the Spanish Aviation Authority that manages the airspace over Tenerife. So I want to make sure that I know which geozones are excluded or which are restricted, and if there are any extra more specific regulations that I need to be aware of before we fly in, and so I can operate the drone properly. And I mentioned drones because those of you that are following, do you know that I bought the DJI Neo, which is the very low level kind of vlogging drone, but it has some capabilities that allow for training, and I already feel comfortable with operation with it. So now it's time to step up and invest into I would say a bit more expensive drone. And I mentioned drones because I think I will be buying two drones. One of them will be DJI Avata 2, and second will be DJI Air 3S. Why two of them? Because one of them is typical FPV drone, first person view drone, which requires goggles and it's more reactive. It creates beautiful videos, and it's very reactive, but it has different purposes, more for dynamic footage and things like that, while DJI Air 3S, which is a new version of DJI Air 3, is more for cinematic and a bit more advanced videography with the zoom lenses and wide angles. So it's a different type of drone, and it's kind of in between, I believe, in between the weight of Avata and DJI Neo. So DJI Neo is C0, so category 0. It is below 250 grams, and there's very little regulation that applies to it. It's a fairly safe drone and can cause much damage, but the other two drones are well above. I think one is, I don't remember exactly, but I think one is about 400 grams, so just below half kilogram or closer to 1 pound of weight, and that's the MTOM, so that's the maximum takeoff mass. And the other one is even heavier. I think the DJI Air 3S is almost 750 grams, which is 3/4 of a kilogram. So it's a fairly heavy drone, and legislation definitely applies to it. There's a lot of regulations around that within the EU. So that was my training related to. I don't need a license for DJI Neo, but I need for the other two. So I need to register as a pilot. I will have my registration number like the car registration number, or more like a driving license. And this particular number needs to be broadcast by the drone in airspace, so it can be visible and detectable and identifiable by aviation authorities wherever within the EU or elsewhere I operate. So as you can see, I'm pretty serious about it, and I'll be updating you about that a little bit more. But as I'm progressing with Blunt Force Healing, I want to softly start transitioning towards something less of a journal. I don't know yet. I still have plenty of time until I decide what it will be, because the target is 1,000 days, 1,000 consecutive days to prove not only that I can do it, but I will decide when it stops or when it transitions, because I don't want to stop it. But it will be hopefully it will be more structured and more themed in terms of things I do, and will be less dull and more interesting and more professional. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate your time, and thank you very much for your attention. It was a long episode. I said it would be short. It wasn't. Apologies for that. Have a great rest of the day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are on this beautiful globe, beautiful planet. Stay tuned and see you again tomorrow.